This has like changed my life. Okay, so we got up bright and early with this snow. Oh my goodness. Bodie, you are a ham bone. A ham bone. I just gotta get my camera adjusted here because we're gonna make a frittata. So, okay, we might make a frittata. We'll see how far we get on this. But the plan is that. That's what we're going to do. Because we've got a bunch of spinach, we've got a bunch of eggs, and we have, yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Oh, goodness, I gotta make bread too. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do bread here in a minute. But the first thing I do is mix up a whole bunch of eggs so that, mixing up all the eggs. That way I can get all my other ingredients going in the pan and my eggs will be ready to pour and go straight into the oven. I don't know a specific recipe for frittatas, but what I do is use whatever vegetables I have on hand, and then I have goat cheese today. Sometimes I don't put cheese in it if I'm gonna be eating it, and today I'm gonna be eating this one. So I'm gonna use goat cheese, and then I'm also gonna do spinach and mushrooms. So this is a spinach and mushroom frittata. So I add a little bit of water to my eggs. You can add milk or whatever, but the water just kind of evaporates and leaves little air pockets. It makes the eggs nice and fluffy. You can add any kind of herbs that you want to your frittata. I'm not adding any just because my kids are picky, and I'll be lucky if I can get them to eat it with spinach in it. Usually they do. If we call it egg pie or we like make up a fancy name for it, they'll then eat it. Well, you guys, I didn't realize how untidy my workspace was. So I'm going to start by heating up my cast iron skillet, and it already has some pig fat in it from late last night. I made some eggs for myself because starving mom problems. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is make our standard loaf of bread. So when we make this standard loaf of bread, you can use 4 tablespoons of butter, of coconut oil, of olive oil, of pig lard, of whatever you want to use. For the sake of being dairy-free today, I'm gonna go with coconut oil because the olive oil, I don't really like the flavor in the bread as much. I love the flavor of butter in the bread, but this guy doesn't tolerate it. So olive oil is typically my go-to, and this recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of some kind of fat. Well, it calls for butter, but you know, you just heard my explanation. So I'm just kind of chopping this up in here, and I'm going to add it to my little maker here, just so it can kind of distribute as it warms up and as it rises and it processes and everything. If I put it in solid chunks in here, it wouldn't distribute as well. I mean, it does get warm for the kneading part and all of that, but we're just gonna do that right there. Okay, and then I do 1 2/3 cup water. All right, so we got 4 tablespoons of fat, 1 2/3 cup water. We're gonna do 4 tablespoons of sugar. I always do kind of generous because, you know, you love sweet bread. Then you're gonna do 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of salt. Then the next thing I do is I add my flour very next. You can use honey as well instead of sugar. You just have to change your measurements a little bit to accommodate for that. 4 cups of flour. 4. I do a big handful of oatmeal. We're gonna throw some ground flax in here. 2 teaspoons of ground flax. Three tablespoons of hemp seeds. Extra protein. And then I'm gonna put 2 teaspoons of the yeast on top. And this isn't sourdough. You guys know I love sourdough and I rave about it and I try to bake that all the time. But you know, this is a great sandwich loaf recipe. And so this is what I make for lunch. So I'm baking it in the morning and it will be ready for lunch. This takes about 2 hours to bake and then it has to cool. So right around 3 hours we'll be ready for lunch because we have breakfast in the oven. So I'm gonna go put this in my bread machine that I got from the thrift store. I bought like 3 or 4 different bread machines. Long story short, as Kimberly Wad says, long story short, I bought a bunch of bread machines. One of them was broke. I gave one away. I kept this one. And there was another one I returned to Goodwill. So 4 bread makers total. This is the one I ended up keeping. I love it. It works great. I'm gonna take a picture of it. You guys are gonna look at it right here. I'm gonna link down below one that's similar you can get from Amazon. The bread machine has changed my life. It has totally changed my life. We don't buy bread from the store anymore, and I can make bread anytime I want to as long as I have the ingredients on hand, which I try to keep them on hand. Anyways, we're gonna see this come out in just a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like all sliced up. Okay, now I'm gonna pull this frittata out and show you guys what it looks like. It is done. Watch out, Annika. Woo! Hot, hot, hot. You see how puffy it is in there? Give that a little wiggle, it comes right off. And then we serve this up like egg pie. Got some egg pie for my kiddos. And then we just slice into it. Like so.
I'm gonna bite your finger.
Yeah, he has 2 little teeth on the bottom and he will tear you up. Oh, now he's gonna pull up on you. Nope, nope, nope. What are you doing? Hi, you want to stand up, don't you? Da 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 da. Oh my gosh, he's pulling up. He's pulling up. Uh-oh, you gotta get your feet back under you. He's gonna do it, look. Oh my gosh. He'll figure it out. He might do it with a sock in his mouth, but he'll do it.
Oh, here it comes. You got this. 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 Because nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Wow. You got this. You got this. Wait, I think he can't concentrate.
You're gonna have to move your feet around, aren't you? Yeah. Friends, now we're going to tidy up the kitchen from all of the morning mess that we made. I'm gonna just take in all of this beautiful sunlight that's coming in through my kitchen windows. I just love this time of day. I love looking out and seeing the deer walk by and seeing the snow-kissed ground. It's the first snow of the winter, and it was such a special surprise to wake up to in the morning. I don't typically check the weather, so I don't know what's gonna happen. It's always a nice surprise to me what the weather does every day. And lately it's been rainy, and the day before this video was taken was our first frost of the year and beginning of November. And then the very next day we had snow on the ground. So winter is officially here, guys. And I've got a lot of things to do and a lot of things in store. My husband's been hunting, so I'm gonna be hopefully dealing with some deer meat here soon in the next few days, few weeks. And I plan on canning that up. So there's a lot to do, and I always need to start with a tidy kitchen. But here we go. I've got my little baby in my arms, and I'm not always able to baby wear him because I do have back problems, and holding him like this isn't much better, but it's what I have to do right now because he is cutting in a lot of teeth during this time in his life, so he needs mommy a lot. The alternative is for him to crawl around on the floor at my feet and cry. So he's happiest in my arms, and this is how I get a lot of things done throughout the day. I think a lot of people don't realize that moms carry around 20 pounds of baby for a very long time, and I feel like I've been carrying around 20 pounds of baby for the last 9 years, and I have been. Every time my toddlers get to be toddlers, I always have another baby in my arms, and my babies get big quick. He's been 20 pounds for a couple of months now. I'm going to get some lunch started, so I'm going to show you guys what my plans are for lunch here in a minute. I'm making the kids some hot chocolate real quick, and just to tie them over until the soup is ready. I'm not sure what kind of soup I'm going to make, but we're going to wing it, and we're going to make some kind of soup. Here we go. This is my home bakery supreme. It's by Zojurushi. I gotta hurry up, the baby's fussing again. And this is the beautiful loaf of bread it made us. It always comes out a little bit uneven because of the way that the paddles are in it and the way it kneads, but that's why I like to do it myself. I'd like to do the final shaping, and I forgot to come in here and scrape all this down, so I've got junk on the sides. Usually it's a neater loaf, but I'll show you guys what it's like to cut up. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and get started with this soup. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a vegetable soup. I've got a bag of frozen mixed vegetables out in my freezer, and we're running low on fruits and veggies. I've only really been buying just to keep what we need on hand. I'm not doing any of this crazy food prepping that everybody's talking about. I've got a lot to say about that, but mainly what I wanna say is I refuse to live in fear. Today, we're gonna make soup, and we're gonna use what we have. And this is the last bit of what we have as far as celery. Our carrots are kind of not looking so great. And I'm gonna have to go to the grocery store because we need produce, we need apples, we need all that kind of stuff. I made some chicken stock, and you guys can go look on my channel in my playlist, Instant Pot Recipes. So as you see, there's a lot that goes into preparing food. I mean, you guys know because you guys cook too, right? We all cook. We all do this stuff. So we have this big, beautiful melon. I'm gonna meal prep this up next, and then I'm gonna see what else I have that I can get done, because later on I'm gonna go grocery shopping. So I wanna have everything done in the house so that when I come home from grocery shopping, I don't have to worry about like dinner or cleanup or laundry or anything. I don't know if we'll get to the laundry today. But yeah, so this soup right here is looking really good. The kids decided that they wanted me to make this a creamy type of soup. And so we're gonna make this creamy. I'm gonna use my immersion blender once it's all cooked and do that. So we're gonna have soup and melon and the fresh bread that's in the bread maker. I'm gonna go grab that real quick and show you guys. So we've got our bread here, and I'll show you what it looks like when I slice it up. Ooh, that's hot. And it's still got to cool off, but it's a delicious homemade in the bread machine bread, and it's made in like 2 hours, I think this loaf was. I'm making this with organic bread, and I can make 3 or 4 loaves of organic bread for like, I don't know, $1.50 a loaf. Yeah, about $1.50 if you add up all the ingredients and the amounts and everything. Probably about $1.50 for organic loaf of bread. It beats paying at our store. I think it's like anywhere between $4 and $6 for an organic loaf of bread. Insanity. Like, I can't afford that, and I don't want to feed my family the other stuff because my daughter's had issues with processed foods like that before, things that have a lot of, we don't know exactly what in that food, but basically any wheat that is packaged and processed that's not homemade in the house, where I can control what is in it, and what I know that the flour is just a wheat berry, like a ground wheat berry, and yeah, that's how we do it. After all these years, I figured out how to use my exposure on the camera. You guys, I'm so busy and so focused on doing all of these things all of the time that I can't keep up with technology and learning all the technology. I'm just trying to post content, you know? And yeah, that's what happened. So now I can do it. Now we can have our content. You know, we talk about living in a tiny home one day, and we think like, oh, one day we'll live in a tiny house, we'll live in a trailer, and we'll travel the country. And I'm not so sure if I can give up my cookie lifestyle. I guess I need to talk to some tiny home people that live in campers and stuff and see, like, I'm able to do all the same things. I know I use the Instant Pot and I use the stove the most. And I also use my slow cooker, but I don't have to use the slow cooker because I have that. But I'm not going to be able to, like, am I going to be able to make sourdough? I guess I could take a bread maker and just make bread machine bread, and we can just go without sourdough until we live on a homestead. I just got to figure it out, but it just seems like a lot of things in travel-wise that it's going to be tricky to do. I'm hopeful if these will grow in the compost. Maybe next year we'll have melons. Who knows? Does that ever happen to you guys with your compost piles? Are you like growing compost and or not growing? Are things growing in your compost piles? It's been a long time. We haven't had like a consistent compost pile that that's benefited from, that our gardens or anything have benefited from. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and cut this up and move on with our day. Try to get some of this laundry done. I should have a load of laundry in there now, but I don't, so get to it. Okay, here's our very simple soup. It's just potatoes and carrots, celery, onion. I put in some extra potatoes because I just wanted to bulk it up, and the kids asked for it blended. All right, so we've got our soup already here. It's way too hot, so we're just gonna let it cool off for a minute. Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. That's too cool.
Let's start out with one and see if you guys. It's really good. It's really simple.
I like these things.
Yeah. Would you get some
Whoa.
spoons?
Is that underwater right now? Holy, that's not a cute sign. Whoa. We're not done. I know. So look at this. I've been seeing water.
Did you guys want butter?
I don't know.
I've got butter right here.
Let's go.
Okay, so this is the crumb of the bread, and this is a great sandwich bread because of the way that the crumb is. It's delicious. So, highly recommended by me. I give it a 10. Turns out perfect every time. Does a little better if you give it like a little final stretch and fold, roll over shaping. Then when you do that, it has a better shape to it and it cooks a little bit more evenly. Even though this turned out pretty good. I mean, it's not too bad. And then, of course, it's got like the extra stuff on it that got stuck to the sides because I didn't scrape the sides of the bread machine down. But yeah, beautiful loaf. Perfect. So each child is going to get a piece of bread. Will you get me a butter knife? Thank you, madam.
Who's the smallest piece for?
Monica? You guys have any plates on this or the plates all? Will you get me out yellow plates?
Why is it not?
The kids can all have butter.
Yes. We all love butter.
The bread is still warm. Monica's.
Okay, boss. Monica!
Well, she doesn't have to sit down yet. The soup isn't at the table. And she can still have fun and enjoy.
No, my. Maya! Is it break or not?
Oh no, not under there. You're gonna get stuck again. What's that? Is that the sauerkraut? Is that the sauerkraut? Look, it's right there. Look. Look. There it is. Hey. It's back here. Look. There it is. There it is. See? Is that the sound that you hear? It's bubbling up. That's what it do. Tell them, say, we want you guys to join us over there on Instagram. We are doing a clean kitchen sink challenge. Hashtag clean kitchen sink challenge. Every day for 30 days in November. And you guys should join in. Make sure that you tag me. If you do, it's every night for the month of November. Okay, we got a lot going on. I'm gonna make some chocolate chip cookies. Then I'm gonna go to the grocery store when my husband gets back. He's out hunting right now with the boys. And then Hagen's taking all the laundry back there. I just brought some clean laundry up. I've got clean laundry in the dryer, and I've got 2 loads of kids' laundry to do and a lot of other stuff. So I'm gonna get some of that, but right now we're going to, uh-oh, baby's in the cabinet. He's into everything, you guys, look at him. I can't keep him out of anything. He just, yeah, you're trouble now. He's at that age, so that's a lot of fun. But I got all the stuff to make cookies right back there. Right there. So we're gonna make some gluten-free cookies because I have gluten-free baking mix. And I'd rather use that than my bread flour. So this is like our utility room, and then behind this camera is where, oh my gosh, the baby's getting into all of my husband's stuff. Oh, those are, oh goodness, oh goodness, oh gosh. You've just gotten everything. Screwdrivers, spoons, I don't even know, that's some kind of energy drink powder mix. Yes, bang on the floor with a spoon. Okay, there we go. So I'm also gonna be sorting through all of my kids' clothes. hopefully I can get that done in this vlog, but I figure what I'll do is at least get all of their laundry sorted. And once I have all their laundry sorted, I can start this load that's in here. They all went and played outside today in the snow. See, I just did laundry like 3 days ago, so this is an obscene amount of laundry that my kids have. So I have to get the cookies in just a second, sweetie. I get this laundry going before we get started on cookies. Actually, you're right. Let me put them in the oven, then I can do laundry. She's a thinker. That girl's gonna go places. You see Mama? Yeah. You see Mama? Dance. Say ba 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 ba. Say yay! Clap, clap, clap. Clap, 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 clap. Clap my hands. Clap my hands. Yeah. Hey, baby. Cookies and milk for the kiddos. And tell Hagen to come on. How are the cookies, ladies? Well, well, well. If it isn't the consequences of my actions waking me up in the morning. Baby was clingy and I had to hold him, and everybody was asleep and I couldn't hold him and do the dishes at the same time. So that's what happens. I should have done them before I went to the grocery store when he was content. Planning. Was it better?
Yeah. Oh no. The other buck was on feed. And I'm like, I walked all the way around. I'm like, that's not the right buck. And it was right where I saw it die.
Oh, you mean the first time when you saw it fall down?
When we saw the deer take off, it wasn't.
Did you want to hang it from right there? Is that in a stud?
Watch out! Watch out!
It's huge. Guys,